one thing that permeated every aspect of my life, right up until I became a young adult, was music. And music could shape our moods. Music could shape when we were happy, sad, angry, we were whatever we were actually doing. It was a religion. Music was a religion. Even the records, now you don't have records so much. I know there's a revival, but records were, I'd buy the most valuable. I would travel abroad. I would hear that there's a particular album that was in Belgium, Antwerp, and I would travel to Antwerp just to get that album. I would go and travel around the country to get that album. And when I got that record and we were listening to that record, you couldn't disturb me. I may be listening to a song or a tune and there's a particular part of that tune I was coming to and you could not disturb me. My brethren knew if they knocked on the door of my home, they had to wait outside. My missus would tell them, you can't disturb him yet. I worshipped music. Worshipped, and I mean that. If the sun is shining, it's a particular time of the day and there's a tune that we would know. When we were in the docks having our court case and the judge was speaking, we'd be bringing Cooley G or one of these, court is now in session, and you'd hear one of us rapping. When we were sitting in the court, in the docks, we were not only giving lyrics to each other, we were rolling spliffs. In the docks, we were rolling. This is how arrogant we were. The judge obviously didn't see that, and the people couldn't see that. But music permeated every part of our lives. If we were dealing with a man, beating someone, if we were with our women, everyone knows their love tunes and everything like that. The music did everything for us. So I realized when I was getting older, before I became a Muslim, music was a difficult thing to let go. Music dominated that much that even my circles, if you were into a particular type of music and I wasn't into that particular type of music, you and me couldn't move together. We won't be brethren. We won't be sistering. You are not in my world. That is how it was. I worked as a bouncer, security, in clubs and Hammersmith Odeon and things like this. And we did that. I'd be at work in the day, again, the conflict. I'd be at work in the day, legal profession, then I'd be leaving work, putting on my jacket, Seymour security, going to do the shows, fighting in the evening, doing what we're doing in the evening. Then I go back to work the next day, bruised knuckles, few cuts. My boss would say, what's happened? I was at work. And he'd just look at me, because like, why do you do this? But that was the life. And I was doing the security because I loved the concerts. I loved the shows. When it was musicians that we knew, bands that we knew. It's like, yeah, this was the life for me. This was the life. I was working and I was fulfilling that desire of what I worshipped, music. We met, I remember when Ice-T came over. He went to Capital, Westwood, and we met him outside. And he had his wife then, Darlene. So we went to meet him and it shocked me because I was hearing all these gangster lyrics from him and everything like that. And I'm not saying that he wasn't that, but when he saw us now coming to meet him, he ran to the car. He ran to the car and we're saying to him, yo, Ice-T, we're from SWS, we just want to say what's going on. And then what he did is he pulled his wife and said, Darlene, meet these guys. And for me, that respect went from him from that point there, that he pushed her forward. But anyway, he agreed to meet us. So we went back to the hotel where he was staying somewhere in Earl's Court, and we sat with him for 5 hours. And we were chatting, talking about us. And what I realized is that from his background, now he was seeing he can make money from it. Now he wanted to be more commercialized. And so after we sat with him then, we didn't stay in touch with him again after that. I was a bit disappointed. Our tracks were underground. They were being played on the radio. Even we saw when we were walking through Tooting, some of the youths would be looking out and giving the lyrics because they knew the lyrics that we were doing and everything. And then we met individuals like Professor Griff from Public Enemy. Now Public Enemy were the group at the time, and he'd just broken off from them, or they'd asked him to leave. So we met him as well, and when we met him, he said he wanted us to bring some of the tunes, our latest tunes that we were going to be bringing, our latest songs. So we went, and there was a song we called Rebel, and it's very, very hardcore. So one of our rappers gave him the lyrics, and we were shocked at his response. He said, this is too hardcore, you're not going to get radio play. We said, it's not about radio play, this is what we believe in. You're talking about governments, you're talking about South Africa and apartheid. It was the apartheid, the segregation at that time. And he was saying to us, that is too hardcore. And we said, Professor Griff, we've listened to your lyrics. He said, yeah, but that's just for show. And we looked at him like, you're fake. You're telling me you're fake like this. He was going on this show, this really rubbish show called The Hitman and Her. Nothing underground, anything. And we advised him, you don't want to go on there for your credibility. He said, no, I want to go on there, I want to go on there. When we saw the insincerity amongst these individuals, that's what made me start looking at this music that I'm into. It doesn't take you in a good direction. If you want to get more known, if you want to get your message across, you have to become commercial. You have to sell out. You have to sell your soul. You have to do things to get there. So for me, I said, I can't do this. It didn't wash with me. I couldn't do it. We put out one commercial song, and I wouldn't even tell anyone what that was. And it was with all the boxers, Frank Bruno, all the great boxers of that time. And I listened to it, and I'm like, this is embarrassing. This is not us. So we started realizing then, amongst our group, the music cannot sustain us. It cannot sustain us. And that's when I realized, well, if you're not worshipping music, I have to go back into one direction. My soul is not being filled. It wasn't being filled. And I felt I was dying from inside. I had everything else, but I was thinking, I'm not doing anything to my soul. I can't go back to Christianity. I'm not going to go back here. What else is there? And that's when I had, I think, the fundamental, final, significant impact upon me, which has brought me to where I am today.